Hi, so first of all, I want to just give a disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer and I'm not qualified to give legal advice. And you should always do your own research before you try to pursue legal action or think about pursuing legal action against anyone. That being said, I do feel like bullying has sort of become an epidemic in this country, and it has definitely carried over into the workplace. From what I've observed, it occurs in nearly every workplace. So unfortunately, adult bullying, is not illegal in America. It's not illegal for someone to not like you. It's not illegal for people to talk about you at work. And if you live in an at-will state, anyone can fire you from a job for any reason. And actually, bullying is not actually an appropriate term as far as legal purposes go. You really want to use the word harassment. And even then, the harassment that you're going to receive at work is typically not going to be illegal. And what I mean is that your boss or your coworkers, they can insult you to your face. They can talk about you behind your back. That's not illegal. They can deny you a promotion in favor of going with anyone else for any other reason. That in itself is not illegal. Your employer is going to be well within their rights to run their business in the best way that they see fit, which that pretty much gives them a free pass, honestly. What your employer cannot do is they cannot break the law, right? Everyone is bound by the rule of law in this country. So what does that mean exactly? It means if your employer has broken the law, and this is very important, you can also prove it. You may have a lawsuit. You may. Not always. Not every attorney is going to be clamoring to take your case. Generally, the injuries against you have to be so severe that your life is severely impacted. So, like, if your boss does terminate you or whatever, if they stalk you, whatever, if they break the law blatantly, you're going to have to face the burden of proof. And I mean, if they're causing you a minor annoyance, it's not likely that you're going to have a case. It has to impact your life in a big way. And it is good to document everything. It's good to keep records of stuff. It's good to keep a timeline of things. If someone is doing you wrong or someone is doing something to you that they're not supposed to be doing, write everything down, no matter how serious or not serious you think it is, because there's always a possibility that things could escalate and you'll wish you had those earlier records. And as long as you have records, you can demonstrate a pattern if it gets to that. And in many cases you're going to be best just leaving the job and finding another job, but there are situations that you might be in where you can't do that, and you're going to be forced. Sorry about that. That was my microwave. Real life here. So anyway, you might be stuck in a situation where you're going to be forced to basically undergo anything that your employer subjects you to. So you not only want to keep records to look out for yourself in the future if you need to, you also want to, I would want to mitigate damages and basically make it survivable for me in the workplace. And if you're keeping records, it can provide you with a sense of security, especially if someone is doing something over and over. And if you don't have the records, you can't prove it. But if you have that person and those records recorded and documented, you may be able to rest a little easier at night knowing that if you need it, the records are there. So the main important point, what can an employer be sued for, or what is actually illegal as far as the eyes of the law? There is law that protects members of protected classes from harassment and discrimination in the workplace due to being a member of that protected class. A protected class is going to be race, nationality, religion, sex, age, disability. So you may be eligible for pursuing legal action against someone if you feel like they have discriminated against you because you are a member of one of these protected classes. So like if you get pregnant or sick and you are terminated immediately thereafter, or if the employer doesn't hire you because you're a certain race, if you can prove, or if you have evidence to prove that you have been discriminated or harassed or treated differently than anyone else in the workplace simply because of your class. And once again, I'm not attempting to give legal advice. I'm just discussing things that are available for research by anyone, and a lot of people may not know or realize there are many resources out there. So if you have any more questions about protected classes, I advise you to visit the EEOC's website. And how awesome is it that we do have the EEOC? It's an amazing organization, and thank God we live in a country that has that for the citizens so that everyone can be equal under the law and the law can be enforced. So let's go back to the classes. So my opinion, the disability class, that is the broadest class. The definition of that class, we're going to go into it here. So there's something called the Americans with Disabilities Act, and I believe the ADA has a website, and once again, a very great resource for you to go and explore. And I'm going to find the definition for a disability and read it to you here, what it says defines a disability. So according to the ADA, disabilities that are covered under the Act can be physical or mental disabilities. And a condition does not need to be severe or permanent to be considered a disability. And according to my novice, unprofessional opinion on a disability, just from reading the definitions on the websites and what is stated on those websites, a disability basically has to significantly impact your life or a life activity in order to really be considered as a disability, which is not hard for a disability to do. If you do have a disability, you'll know this. So there is a list out there, a general list that the EEOC gives. There's not an actual list that's meant to be all-inclusive. The EEOC just has taken the time to define certain, probably more common disabilities, and they've also taken the time to define things that are not considered to be disabilities. I'll let you do your own research on that. So what does this mean? To me, in layman's terms, this means that there are people out there that may be part of a protected class and may have rights to pursue adverse actions, and they might not even know it. And this is why it's very important to educate yourself and to use the resources available to you, the EEOC and the ADA. So I hope this makes you think and makes you really curious about the laws that protect us while we're in the workplace. And I just want to spread awareness about the ADA and the EEOC and harassment at work. I want more people to be informed, and I feel like this information could help so many people and could affect so many people's well-being. And it's really important. Many people have fought for years to have laws like this put in place, and our government has felt like this is important enough to put these acts and laws into place. So I hope that you've learned something here, and this is a little bit of a different kind of video, but this is really a passion for me, and I'll keep making videos, and I'll keep coming back. You keep coming back, and I'll see you in the next one.